You're afraid of us?
Okay, so what do you call yourself?
Big Homie Show.
What up, world? It's your boy VicXL.
And it's your boy Homebwoi.
And together we are
The Big Homie Show.
All right, man, it's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. Hopefully everybody's out there staying coronavirus free. And shit, if you out there, can your boy hold just one roll of single ply, because I know y'all out there buying up all the goddamn double ply, and you know, can you I'll trade, like I got an old car at home, like an old Yugo. I trade this running Yugo for a 6-pack of Angel Sauce. Because right now, dog, the goddamn toilet tissue is off the chain, man. But man, I'm glad to be here. How you doing, my brother?
Hey man, I'm good, dog. Blessed. Been working from home since the coronavirus thing been going down. So hey man, I'm energetic. Finna start cleaning up the house. Finna start throwing away some things. Boy, I'm good.
And today, it's an honor and pleasure to have a legend in the building.
Oh yeah, my country cousin.
Hey.
Mr. Bohagon.
Who am I? I'm Bohagon, the life I lived it. What's up, man? I'm happy to be here.
Tell people where Bohagon is from.
I'm actually from Talbotton, Georgia, man. You know, it's a small town in southwest Georgia. You know, southwest Georgia. Talbotton is right there. It's probably about 30 miles away from Columbus, Georgia. You know, that's right there on that West Georgia, East Alabama border. So it's like, you know, we it's a lot going on down there.
All right, being from a small area, did you see a lot of opportunities, or did you ever see yourself in the position that you eventually elevated to?
See, the thing is, the thing that's amazing about 2020 and, you know, this new era is the internet made the world smaller. But back in the day, it's like, you know, if you're doing music or if you're trying to get on the entertainment or whatever, you kind of had to hit the road. You know what I'm saying? You had to hit the road, which now you still going to eventually have to hit the road. But back then, more so, you know, you had to, like my whole strategy was I had to leave my town to go and get the spotlight, get that shine, to shine it back towards my town. You know what I'm saying? But like right now, you know, with social media, with the internet, you can pretty much do a lot of the stuff that I had to do back then. You can kind of do that from there. You know what I'm saying? So it's different, you know. But I wouldn't change it for nothing, though.
When did you know you had a talent?
I would say, okay, it was somewhere like 4th, 5th grade. So we had this teacher, Mr. Huggins. And he made us, we had to write a poem, write some little essay or something about what black is, like the color black. And like I remember, black is something about the oil tanker had spilled in the ocean or something. Black is Dr. King doing this. Black is this, that, and third. And I actually won over the whole school. So I had to go in front of the school, get my little trophy and all that, and that's what kind of made me know that I had a talent with writing. You know what I'm saying? And from then on, it's like, you know, I always been an avid reader. You know what I'm saying? And I used to read up on the like I was into poetry. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of keep it to myself. I wouldn't let nobody know I was into it. So I was
Shakespeare.
Yeah, I would study all of the different kind of poems. Like certain poems didn't rhyme. You know what I'm saying? Certain poems rhymed. Certain poems rhymed every 4 bars. You know what I'm saying? So one of my habits was I read the newspaper every single day. You know what I'm saying? My best friend, they'll tell you, like, he read the newspaper every day. Like, that was like my exercise. And, you know, my mom was into music, so I never forget. My mom called herself learning how to play the keyboard, so she went and bought a Casio keyboard and played with it for about 2 weeks and sat it in the closet. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I picked up the Casio keyboard, which I ain't never really learned how to be a producer, but you know, just working on the keyboard and you know, I make me the little stick beats, you know what I'm saying, and put my little rap on top of it. So it's like that's how it started to come together for me.
I think Casio got a lot of people like that.
Oh yeah, Casio.
Because I probably played with mine. I wanted one for Christmas. I probably played with it until about December 31st. But you know what? It used to look good in your room. When people come over, especially we had to stand.
It looked like you were doing something.
Yeah.
And then I think the other way is all of us who come up, in the hood, grandma gonna have you in church. Your mama, auntie, they gonna have you in church. And sooner or later, they gonna put you in the choir.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I think the church choir is the basis of black music in America.
Nigga, I done sang Yes, Jesus Love Me so much.
Oh, bro, I remember I had to lead a song. I was terrified. You know how they have the pulpit. So the choir behind the pulpit. So when I was leading my song, I made sure I got exactly right behind where the preacher stood at the pulpit. Yeah. And I just stood behind there so nobody could see me, and I led my song. You know what I'm saying? But from there to doing the talent shows, and we started a little R&B rap group from cats that I was in the choir with. You know what I'm saying? The Seldons. Shout out to the Seldons. And we just started from there. Like I started out in a group. I was never a solo artist.
That's what's up. I know that's probably everybody's story. I was in the choir. I couldn't sing shit.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So, at what point did you know that you had to broaden that horizon? And what was your means of what tools you used to get people to recognize that you had this talent beyond that area?
Okay, all right, so we our first, it was this cat named Jimmy Spirit. Jimmy Spirit, like I said, I'm from a little small town, probably about 1,000 people in the whole county. So he stayed in an old beat up trailer, like a mobile, like one of those trailers you could hook something up to and drive with it.
Wow.
But he stayed in that, you know what I'm saying? And so the guy that was our manager had befriended him. The guy that was in the trailer, his name was Jimmy Spirit. And like he was one of them guys that way back then was conscious, and he used to always tell us, you eat too much of it, you too much of anything is poison. You know what I'm saying? And like we'd be trying to smoke our weed, and he'd be like, no, you got to smoke it in something natural. You know what I'm saying? He was one of those cats.
Yeah.
And so
living in a mobile home.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? He wasn't into money or none of that shit. So it's like, and he would tell us all these stories, like he knew these old school R&B groups and all of this, and he knew Tupac mama, Miss Afena.
Right.
So whatever happened, he introduced us to a cat named Michael Anthony. Michael Anthony was a producer who used to be one of Left Eye's producers. And so this like 94, 95, I'm in there. It's 95. I was in the 12th grade when we started coming up to the Twin Towers on Peachtree.
Right.
So we up there, we working with Michael Anthony, but he really just kind of, we were happy to be there, you know what I'm saying? So we driving all the way from country, drive 2 hours. We get up there, he might just have us to move a couch from one side of the studio to the other. But we happy to be there though, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We like, shit. So we do that for, I say, about 6 months. After about 6 months, he let us record our first song. So, you know how producers interact with each other. So it was this other producer named Gerald Hall. So Gerald Hall up there one day, and Michael Anthony play our song. He like, damn, who is that? So he introduced us to him, and come to find out, Gerald Hall is from Columbus.
Okay.
So once he found out we were from the same area, he was like, oh man, shit, take my number down, let's work, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we got to working with Gerald Hall, but he stayed up here, but he was from Columbus.
Right.
So I never forget, then he was like, this cat named Lil Jon is doing this So Def Bass All Stars album. So he let him hear our stuff. And John I was the one that he liked out of the group. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's when, the whole thing with him putting us on the, putting me on the.
That was on that Drop Them Bowls on, right?
No, Drop Them Bowls was volume 3.
Okay.
So, okay, they did 3 volumes of it. The first volume was the My Boo and all of that, the Ghost
Right.
Town DJs and all that. The second volume was the one with Lathan. I Can Freak It in the Morning.
Yeah.
That's the one that I was on. That's when I first came in the game.
Okay.
But what happened was, you would do a regular song, and they would take the song and put a bass beat behind a booty shake beat. But from y'all know from being in the South that Atlanta bass and Miami bass is 2 different kinds of speeds. So they put a Miami bass beat behind mine, and so this shit going like 400 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So that was the way I came in the game. But then for a whole year I was just being John L, like, bro, like the next one, because he was telling me he wanted me to be on the next volume.
Right.
I like, bro, let's do a song that's more our speed. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like how it all just jumped off, And then from there we went through it went into the crunk era and all of that.
Gotcha.
What was your experience from being on that volume 2?
Volume 2, it was crazy because.
Well, hold on. Before you answer that, when you did Volume 2, were you actually an artist on BME at that point, or were you still
this
like?
way before BME.
Okay.
I didn't even know John rap.
Okay.
So I met John just as an A&R dude pulling up in the little sidekick, the little Suzuki tracker.
Suzuki
or something.
sidekick. Yeah.
So it's like
You had the Geo trackers and you had the Suzuki sidekicks. Yeah.
and it's like and like when I started working with him, he you know how it is when they feel like, okay, you a hood dude, so I'm gonna put you around some more hood dudes. So I never forget he went and dropped me off for Mr. Cool. I don't know if y'all remember Mr. Cool, Born Threat, A-Town legend. Yeah. And so I stayed on Mr. Cool like a whole week, 2 weeks, just recording with Mr. Cool, you know what I'm saying? I'll never forget, like, Pimp C, them came through, Mystical, Young Bleed, all of them, you know what I'm saying? And those were kind of like my introduction to the game days, you know what I'm saying? But Volume 2, I never forget. It's crazy, because, like I said, the song, it was a terrible song. I had did a nice original song to it, but the beat was so crazy that they put to it. But at the same time, I was so happy to be, you know what I'm saying, to be in the dough.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because see, during that time, they didn't really have singles, so the song "Freak It" went #1, but in order to get the Freak It song, you had to buy the whole album. So the album went gold. You know what I'm saying? So album made money, and I never forget, I bought a Cadillac. I bought a Fleetwood Cadillac off of my one of my rap checks. I never forget being in the club, song come on. Couldn't nobody dance off the song, so the whole dance floor clear. And all the street niggas just walk over, dap me up, bro. We proud of you. We proud of you, bro. Keep going. And I was just like, damn, I don't know whether to be happy or sad. Like, what the fuck? So then when I used to always see John, like, bro, like, next time, let me goddamn go in there and rap. Let me goddamn do my thing. And that's where Drop Them Bowls came from. So he was like, yeah, and that's when I realized, right before we did Drop Them Bowls, like on the radio and stuff, I keep hearing this song. At that time I hadn't met Sam and Bo. Right. I keep hearing this song with the chants and shit. So I said probably a couple more months passed, and then eventually John like, yeah, that's me. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when I meet Sam and Bo them, and then we record the Drop Them Bowls.
Yeah.
So it's like when I first met, bro, it wasn't even, I didn't even know he did music.
At what point were you introduced to the whole BME crunk movement, or how did that come about?
Okay, so the volume 3 dropped in 98. So the volume 3 dropped, and then I would say probably a whole nother year we just was on the road. That's when they did the first Lil Jon and the East Side Boys album with Shake a Little Something, and how it went, Freak a Little Something.
Yeah.
And then after that is when the BME situations kind of started. See, what people don't know is it's 3 different eras of BME. Like the first era, the first chapter, you know, that's kind of like when they were changing over from a promotional company, because they used to promote other folks' shit. But the first chapter is of course Lil Jon, East Side Boys, me, Bone Crusher. And it's like the second era is the Full-Time Family era. That's when China White, Six Shot. That's when we did the Full-Time Family group. That's China White, Six Shot, me, Lil Jon and East Side Boys, Jamaican cat named Don Ute. Like we did a whole entire album.
Yeah.
So we do the album, and John like, no, this album too ahead of its time. So he was like, help me do my album, and then we're gonna put this album out. So that's when we do the independent album. We still crunk that got the TVT deal. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So you were definitely part of the birth.
Yeah.
Of the entire movement.
Yeah. I was there at the beginning before it really was something. You know what I'm saying? When it was just an idea. See, when it was a promo company, that when it was just an idea.
Right.
They didn't even know if they were gonna be a label. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's why I just be wanting to tell my story. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes if you don't tell your story, they'll rewrite your story and somebody else will tell your story for you.
Or some other character have your part in your own story.
Yeah. Oh, just merge himself with 2 different stories or something.
Now, I have to ask, being young in the game, being from a small town, and your name is definitely starting to ring. At that point in your career, had you had a lot of experience when it came to the business aspect of things? When was like a contract even introduced to you? You know, because a lot of times we go at this on blind faith and talent.
Yeah.
Like, at what point did you realize, like, you know what? Not that you weren't taking your lyrical part serious, but I need to take the business aspect serious.
I don't think nobody, especially at that time, takes the business as serious as they should. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it was a lot of me just being happy to be there. You know what I'm saying? And what I would tell a youngster now is, if somebody got you around, they got you around for a reason. So take your business, you know, serious.
Yeah.
Because people they'll be taking you serious, making you think, you know, they doing you a favor. That's the hustle. It making the artist feel like you doing him a favor, but you really trying to get, you know what I'm saying? But you really believe in them with all your heart.
Yeah.
But you making them think you know, you doing them a favor, and they should just be happy to be there.
At the pimp game.
You know what I'm saying? By the way, sign this right here. You know, so I didn't kind of get better with my business until I went independent and started doing my Georgia Dirt stuff. So a lot of that early stuff, I was just happy to be around. But I mean, I still had lawyers that did the paperwork. So when they you know, presented me with paperwork, I would have, you know, my lawyers, Jonathan Leonard, Yuana Carter, Anthony Daniels. I would have them go through the paperwork. So I would, you know, I wasn't just signing the first thing that they put in front of me. But, you know, it still would be probably tilted in their favor, you know.
All right, so now, because I definitely know your story should be cemented in the crunk movement, I want you to definitely tell the world, because you talked about the phases of BME. But I want to talk about like the birth of Crunk, because you definitely were there. If Crunk was a woman pregnant, you were there when sex was taking place. When one was bust up in her, you were there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, because you definitely was part of.
I was in the other room busting one of the sisters.
Let me get her when you get finished.
Like, you know, to me, a person can't tell their story better than themselves.
Exactly.
And I want you to have the platform to get everything out. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want your story to be rewritten. You know, my wife don't know your story. I was playing music by you as we rode over here. It's like, you know, this Hagen. Well, people think that was just one person. Even though they might hear 50 voices, conceptually, a person think that's the name, that's that person, and all them voices in them.
Yeah,
right. Like, so I'm gonna shut my mouth because I want to hear your story from your perspective. Homeboy, you jump in and interject. I'm finna be a fan right now. I'm finna fan out because I definitely want to hear how this all came about.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of them things to where it's like it reached a point to where I felt like somebody was keeping me hidden. You know what I'm saying? Hidden in their back pocket, and I didn't understand that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we live in a different day and age now to where it's not about where you from. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody, you can be from Timbuktu, but if you jamming like hell, you know what I'm saying, you gonna get the same opportunities. It was like they would kind of have to chameleon you in with everybody else and just, you know what I'm saying? And not necessarily, you wouldn't get that light shined on you individually, but you would help. I consider myself a king tide. You know what I'm saying? Now, like the king tide come through and it helped raise everything up.
Yeah.
It's not just like a wave. I wasn't just a wave. You know what I'm saying? I was a tide that just raised all the ships and made the wave bigger. You know what I'm saying? When I first came in the door, man, I had years of, I felt like they would purposely let people confuse me with Lil Bo. You know what I'm saying? Which Lil Bo, that's my big bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like for 5-6 years, I was an unofficial East Side boy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm like, but when the deal came around, okay, you gotta get 2 for 1 now. So now I'm a solo artist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So East Side boys in that situation, but at the same time, I'm on the road with them every day. I'm doing the shows with them every day. Right. But then I signed my situation over here. You know, it's like they use my demo, my mixtape, bootlegs and B-side, and got the Warner Brothers situation. So it was like he kept bouncing me around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And but when we got the Warner Brothers situation, they kind of like tricked the Warner Brothers folks, like they were finna put my shit out, but then when they got the situation, put Scrap and Trillville shit out and just put me all over it.
Let me stop there, because I always wondered what happened there. Because I ain't know no Scrap, I ain't know no Trillville, I ain't know no Crime Mob, but I knew there was a Hagen, I knew there was a China White. Then all of a sudden, it's like
the new wave, the new people coming in.
Me being a fan, I thought you and China White was busting so hard. I was expecting projects from both of you guys, especially after the success they was having at TBT.
Yeah. And you know, and that's all fam. Like China White, that's my sister. You know what I'm saying? Even like Scrap and Trillville, like them my little brothers. You know what I'm saying? It was never no, like when they first came around, it like one side I'll never forget. Like when I found out, okay, we signed something. You know, I was kind of skeptical. Like, let me see what kind of shit they on. I'll never forget. We went and they had a show in Augusta, and that nigga Scrap climbed up the speaker and got on top of the speaker. I was like, this young nigga crazy. But I was like, boy, y'all might be on to something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like from then on, like I would say me and Scrap probably, we probably the closest out of all the BME artists. But yeah, like it never was I was always in a group situation, or I was always a team player. So my thing was like, shit, let me, wherever I can help, you know what I'm saying? But it like, I would always notice that I would get pushed to the back, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, why I'm getting pushed to the back? That's something that I never understood, you know?
Did you ever have conversations about that?
It's like, it got to the point where when I had the conversation, I felt like I got blackballed after I had the conversation. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's all I ever wanted to do, man, was put out my project and get my shit shown in the right light. It's like, it wasn't never no either or. It was like, either you gonna be cool with just being part of the entourage, or we're gonna blackball you. You,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it got to a point where, like, what a lot of people don't know that I did the hook for Damn. You know, and
that's the Young Blood.
Yeah, the You Don't Give a Damn, gone throw it up. And you know, it reached the point where, like, with Damn, I thought I was gonna be able to say my part in the video and do my part, or let some, like, I got my money off of it, but it's like I could never get to where somebody knew that was me. You see what I'm saying? So I never forget. I was like, okay, the next shit that I get that get any kind of light, I'm gonna make sure they know who I am. I'm gonna say my name in the first line. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the Get Crunk came along. You know what I'm saying? Who am I? I'm Bohagon, Bill Me representative. I figured I'd throw Bill Me in there. They gonna keep it in there. They'll leave it in there, goddamn. I throw Bill Me in there.
Yeah.
But because it's like, bro, when so much I had gave pieces of myself. You know what I'm saying? It's like, people would just take so much from it, and then I'm like, damn, they taking this shit, and I can't even get my shit out to the world. But it's like, we'll do shit, and you just let people just come and just pick over it like vultures, and then I don't never get to put my shit out. So it's like, the world hearing this shit, and that don't even be them people original idea. You see what I'm saying? Right. And it's like, that's the thing that frustrated me the most about my career, because I mean, you got two Hagans as far as just musically. You got the mainstream Hagan, where, you know, that's the Get Crunk, you know, the Damn, the What's Happening, What's Up. Then I branched off and did my independent stuff. Now, the people who follow my independent stuff, they know the real Hagan. You see what I'm saying? But from the mainstream, you just gonna know Get Crunk, you know what I'm saying? The song with E40 and Scrap, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I was rocking with you with when you, I think her name Ubi. Yeah. We did the Nothing On. Yeah. Like that was, besides drop them bowls on them, I think the second time I heard you was that. Yep. And I was like, damn, buddy, snapping like hell. Mm-hmm. And so, like, the funny thing is, like, because I want you to go back, but I'm gonna make a statement, but I want you to go back a little bit to tell your introduction to, like, your affiliation with Attic Crew. Mm-hmm. Because I met you through Attic Crew affiliation. Yep. So, like, when I had got my deal with College Park, I can remember when the Get Crunk had came out, because Yin Yang Twins and Lil Jon both was on TVT. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, with me having the affiliation with them, like, Smurf was like, hey, man, John got this artist that snapped like hell. They played a record when we had went up to TVT. Man, nigga named Bohagon. I said, oh, man, I know Bohagon. He said, man, we was on the plane with that nigga. He said, man, y'all niggas sound just alike. And I was like, no, dog. I said, we don't sound alike. He said, man, y'all niggas sound just alike. Y'all, let's see. You know him? I said, yeah, I know him. We family, man. We around the same people, man. Georgia Dirt. He was like, I don't know about them, but shit, you and that nigga need to do a project together. He said, man, I'm gonna get with John to see how you and what the name said, Bohagon. Yeah, you and Bohagon can do a record together. So I was like, shit, man, because see, one situation had happened for me already was I had made a song that had Rooster on it, but when Smurf heard it, he ended up taking Rooster off and he went back and put Killer Mike on it. And that song never went nowhere. And the way it kind of, you know what I'm saying, the way they did it, it wasn't organic. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and Mike, we cool. And, you know, after he did it, you know, me and him had started getting real cool and shit. But, like, it was really based off of Smurf's relationship with Mike first to get on the record, and not an organic me and Mike just vibing together and him getting on the record that way. So
and I think what it is too is like with me and you, we Georgia, but we're not from
Atlanta.
So it's like it's a similarity where you're like, okay, goddamn, it
was the dialect.
It's the dialect to where you hear the Georgia, but it's
not Atlanta Georgia slang.
Well, people in Atlanta will basically say them nigga country.
Yeah. I mean, that's the umbrella you gonna put on it. You know what I'm saying?
So like after that, that's when I started going. I was already going up to Trey, house and stuff a lot, and then me and I was already producing and stuff too. So that's when me and Hagen started doing songs together.
What the first one we did?
You know what? Believe it or not, I still got it. I can't remember, but I think it was with you. It was Lunity. It was like a lot of the cats from Columbus had jumped out on that one record that we had.
Like one of the grand finale records.
You said something about the streets done raised us, the cops done chased us. It's hard to break up a hustler. Yeah, we named the song Hustler, so it was on. That was the name of the song. So, and I think it was supposed to have been one of the songs that went on the Georgia Dirt first album, but I don't know if it made it. But that was the first song that me and Hagen ever had done anything on together. But like, I just want you to kind of explain like your affiliation with Attic Crew, how you was introduced to Attic Crew, was a part of Attic Crew, and then like how everything formulated with Georgia Dirt, all while you had all the stuff that was going on with the BME stuff, because it seemed like it was a lot,
and it's kind of intertwined. Okay,
right.
All right. Remember when I say the second chapter of BME, that's the full-time family. So we had did a whole album. So after we finished the album, that's when John like, man, this shit jamming like hell. But he was like, man, it's too ahead of its time. You know what I'm saying? And cause you having everybody in there listening to it, checking it out. KP who signed Tip and the Young Bloods, he's come through and checking it out. And I guess just from him letting people hear it, they let him know that it was kind of ahead of its time.
Right.
So he was like, well, just help me, y'all. I'm going to do my album. Help me do my album, and then we'll come back and put that out.
Right.
So at that time, I get kind of pissed off. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, man, we done did this whole album. This like 98, late 98-ish, beginning of 99.
Right.
So I get pissed off. I go sign a deal with Noontime.
Okay, because Jazzy was over at Noontime.
Yeah, I go sign a deal with Noontime, like a little 6-month deal or whatever. And so I was over there working with Noontime. Now let me back up, because your cousin Rooster, I met Rooster at the I Like Them Girls video shoot.
Okay.
And me and Rooster we just linked up and caught a vibe, and Roo was the one that kind of like introduced me to everybody around the city. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Just going to the different studios, hanging out, Roo knew everybody.
Right.
So I had been around Noontime, and all of them being around Rooster.
Right.
So fast forward to when I get mad with John about after we did the full-time family. So that's when I went signed to Noontime, and I'm around Attic Crew. I'm around Polo, rest in peace, Cardo, that big bruh, and Motown and all of them. So somewhere through the course of that, Pretty Ken, he come to me, he like, bro, he was like, man, I think you be jamming. He was like, man, how you feel about hitting the road, doing some shows with the Attic, and we working on this new album. So I was like, cool, you know what I'm saying, and just being around PK, and for those that don't know, PK, that's Sean Paul, big cousin. That's T.I. OG. You know what I'm saying, and so being around PK is, and Attic, they kind of like introduced me to, to how the game went as far as just hitting the road, going from the radio station to the, you know what I'm saying? Cause with with John, it was more so of it's like I had just came in the door. So
Right.
it's like I was getting acclimated to everything. Now, once it went to Addict asking me to hit the road with him, I was a participant. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like with John, I was just rap my part and, perform and shut the fuck up. You know, you know what I'm saying? And then chill out. But once I started going on the road with Addict, that's when, we in the radio station, we talking to the DJs and, you know what I'm saying? It was more of a hands-on. And so we had did an album, an independent album called We Still Crunk.
Right.
With John. That got the TVT situation. And so that's when they got the TVT situation, I went on a lot of the songs on the first TVT album because that time I had dipped and went over to Noontime. But the second one, I think the Nothing On with Ubi was on that first album.
Okay.
The second one, I was on more songs because we had linked back up, and I think the second one is where Get Crunk was on.
Okay.
I think so.
So how did Georgia Dirt formulate from Addict Crew? Because like some of the same members that was in the Addict Crew are also in Georgia Dirt. So how did that come about?
It came from one of the things, like we used to always feel like Ken used to sit on the songs too long. You know what I'm saying, with Addict Crew, like one thing I want to say, that guy's a genius. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to music. But one of our pet peeves with him would be that he would sit on the songs, and like we did probably about 2-3 albums worth of shit. Like we put out one album, but like we had whole other albums that we were just sitting on, and it's like we used to kind of get frustrated about that.
Right.
And so me and Trey and Rooster, we kind of branched off and we started Georgia Dirt. And one of the things that we didn't do, we didn't sit on music. You know what I'm saying? Once we started Georgia Dirt, we started grinding the mixtapes and doing little independent albums and just putting it out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that was one of the things that we wanted to do different. With that situation, we just put it in motion. We felt like we put it in motion, we'll build it up as we going. You know what I'm saying?
How did Chad get involved with all of that?
Chad, I worked cause during that time I still had a little forklift job during some of them times. So when shit gets slow, I go hop on that goddamn forklift and go get me some money. So at one of the little places where I worked at, I worked with a cat named Tim who was cool with Chad.
Right.
And just hanging out, we hanging out, going to Buckhead. This before the black people got to Buckhead. We used to be when black folk got Buckhead and fucked it all up.
Yeah.
And Chad, he seen that we were doing the music or whatnot, and he wanted to be a part of it. So,
right.
We just came up with the plan.
I gotta go back because because when I thought you were definitely finna get your solo shine, you had the single "What's Happening." Like, where is that intertwined in all this lineage?
Okay, so you have to go back to the beginning with doing the Damn and getting my money out the Damn, but people not really knowing that I did Damn. And okay, so then that brought about Get Crunk. Mm-hmm. Get Crunk, it's on the first song on the album.
Yeah.
So they dropped the album and that shit just going crazy. They do like 200,000 first week or whatever. The album eventually go double platinum. They done agreed to do the video for Get Crunk and everything. We're gonna do it in Mexico. They done got all of the itineraries, the flights, everything. So at the last minute, some shit happened with John get mad with TVT and I don't know if he asked for some more money and they said they not gonna give it to him or whatever. So they sue each other. So when they sue each other, bam, it done fucked up the
Video.
Fucked up the
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
Now at this time, I'm signed to Warner Brothers. You see what I'm saying? So then at this time, at the same time, Jon break up the group, Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. So the TVT shit happened. He break up the group. So now here go the anger management tour. So he said, okay, well, I'm gonna take you, Scrap, and Stay Fresh, and Pitbull, and little do I know that they done tied all this shit into the Warner Brothers situation. They pulling hundreds of thousands out the budget on some promo shit, but we on tour, but it's like a 3-way jug going.
Right.
So right before we go on tour, we go to the studio. The What's Happening, What's Up that the people hear now, it's not the song that I recorded. I recorded it to a whole nother beat and everything, to a crunk beat.
Right.
So I do my part, Fabo do his part, and some time passed, we go on tour. We come off tour, I have a party in Columbus, Georgia. And I'll tell Jon, like, man, come host my party. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, yeah, all right, I'll come host the party. So he would come down in the tour bus. He was like, man, before we go into the party, I want you to check out something. So he put the What's Happening, What's Up that the world know today. He play that shit, man. That shit got a snap beat. And I'm just like, it's like a feeling down in the bottom of my stomach, bro. Like, I'm just like, no, god damn. You know what I'm saying? And at this time, they done sent this shit out across the country. Like,
Wow.
yeah, I ain't even heard this shit, bro. Like, I ain't even heard this shit. They done, and it like, it crazy because that was the beginning of me and Jon having a throwed off little relationship because I get, like, at the party, I'm just stuck. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't get over what the fuck you done just did. You know what I'm saying?
Did he tell you that they done sent it out too?
And his mind like, nigga, I'm coming down here to fuck with you at the party. Like, why you act, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just stuck. Like, I can't believe this shit. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when your girl done broke your heart, like that feeling in the bottom of your stomach.
Yes, sir.
I'm just like, I'm feeling embarrassed. I'm just like, God
dog,
damn.
she was fucking my homeboy.
Yeah, man. So it goes from that. You gotta think now. So it goes from them sending the song out before I even hear it. It's across the country. It goes to, hey, we're gonna do the remix. And we're gonna do the remix and put a Young Jock, It's Going Down beat behind it. I'm just like, if you don't do this, your album probably not gonna come out. So I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Like, I can't even believe it. Like, I'm just in shock. Like, bro, like, why we couldn't even get in the studio and come up with a song? You know what I'm saying? Why you had to do this? And it's like, that was the end of the whole BME movement. You know what I'm saying? Right before then, they had put the Scrap album out. With Scrap album, that's a smart young man because he realized he got 50 Cent involved. So it was like, that was his way of making sure his shit came out the way, you know what I'm saying?
And then even with that, it looked weird because remember the Scrap album, Crime Mob album, or was it Triple? I don't know. They done a double album type of thing.
Yeah,
like
them two
EPs in
budget. Like,
one.
yeah, and see, it's like if the legacy of BME is kind of like if somebody started painting the Mona Lisa and stopped halfway through and just pick, okay, that's it. And it's just like, damn, it's just this beautiful half goddamn painted
Now, I
picture.
ain't gonna lie, man. Like, when I first heard Get Crunk, I was like, damn. Why they just didn't do like another version where they let him have the song and he put at least another verse on that bitch and just kind of, because when you first came in, the song was so strong from the beginning because it was like a setup. The beat was just, I'm like, damn, okay, what finna go on? And then that shit break down. Yeah. And then Who Am I? So by the time Who Am I came in, it came in so strong to it like hit the whole club was just rocking on that part. And then it was like after your verse went, it was just like it just like everything stayed on the same level until the song just went off. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, damn, why they ain't give Buddy White one more verse? Like, that's what I was always saying in my mind, like, damn, because we still didn't know each other really well then. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, damn, why they didn't give Bohagon another goddamn verse, man? That nigga snapped on that shit.
Did you have a second verse for that record?
Yeah, I wrote another verse, and I ended up doing another verse and putting it on a DJ Drama mixtape. Those are the things that I never understood. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I could do all types of different music. That was my blessing and my curse. Okay. But the thing was, I could never, if I did any other type of song, it would never see the light of day from my situation, from my me situation, you know, my professional situation. It was like I just had to do crunk music or the other shit. They didn't want to hear nothing about me talking conscious. They didn't ever want to hear me no other type of shit but crunk. Right. And it's like, okay, cool. But then they put Jon's face on this. So it's just like this the only shit you'll put out that I do is this. But you put he is the figurehead of it. You feel what I'm saying? Right. And that was the frustrating thing, because it's like my voice is tied to his face. You know, yeah. You know what I'm saying? That shit weird. You know what I'm talking about? And it's like, even right now, it's like crunk music is like lightning in a bottle, to the point where it's geared towards the kids. They can put that shit on now in the club. It's gonna have that same energy of back then. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And
how did you and Cybercell meet? Because I know that y'all had a situation where y'all were working together at one point in time too. Yep. And I don't want to leave that part of the story out before we end.
Me and Sap first met when I was around noontime, because he used to come down there and gamble. Okay. And if you ever seen Cybercell gamble, he put his dice in a cup. Yeah. But I wasn't no dice player, so but that's when we initially met. I think he had started recording with Bone Crusher. Okay. And me and Bone Crusher had a relationship from BME. Right. So I just started going out there, working with him and Bone Crusher, and eventually we just did when the BME Warner Brothers situation folded, because they shut it down, and Warner Brothers, they held on to me, they held on to E40 and Scrap, and I want to say Diamond. So here I am, I'm my independent label gone, but I'm stuck on Warner Brothers. I don't know none of these folks. Like, I ain't had no relationship with these people. Right. So my thing was, shit, I gotta get off. You know what I'm saying? I gotta and so that around by that time, me and Sap chopping it up, and so he started always tell me, like, bro, they owe me a favor. So if you want, you want to do a little situation, I can cash in that favor, and I get them to take you off of Warner Brothers and put you on another label inside the umbrella. So he cashed in his favor, and they moved us over to Asylum, and that was the Black Cartel. Like, with the album name, the name of the album was Crunk and HD.
Yeah, I actually had produced the track for you on that.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
All right, because I definitely, before we wrap, at what point, because this is a historic story, at what point did you feel like, you know what, I gotta take my feelings or how I feel to social media?
What it was like, it's like the way everything ended. It felt like we were on the battlefield. The general behind us, we marching forward, and then you look around, and then it's nobody behind you. They done just took off and went the other way, and it's almost embarrassing for the streets to know what actually happened, as opposed to what the fuck they think happened. You know what I'm saying? Then it get to a point where you just like, okay, why nigga, boy, man, I don't want no money or nothing from you. Like, why I ain't never just had a conversation with you? Right. And why all these people be seeing you, and I ain't never just look you in your face and have a conversation with you, because you know the things that me and you done talked about. You see, what people don't know is, like, everybody else came in through the BME situation. I met Home way before that. Home done been asleep on my back seat. We got damn riding back from the studio. You know what I'm saying? I'm dropping him off at his house.
Right.
Like, you know, we in the club. Okay, you got this round, I got the next round. You know what I'm saying? And it's things that were talked about. You know what I'm saying? It was always just help me do my thing, and then I got you wherever you know, whatever you need. We're gonna do yours next. When I did the damn, you know, I'm asking everybody, yeah, I'm ready to do my part in the video, right? They're like, hell yeah. Leading up to the video shoot, ain't nobody called me, asked me my size or nothing, son. But I still call, hey, bro, y'all, I'ma still be able to do my part in the video, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, hell yeah, man. Yeah, just come on out there. You know, we on stage and we do about 3-4 takes. So I see somebody walking down to the stage. JD said, you ain't the young bloods to Lil Jon, you know what I'm saying? You got to get off the stage, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, okay. I look at John, I'm like, bro, I ain't gonna back do my part. He just drop his head. I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? And I know what nigga can't look me in the face. That mean you with this shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can't look me in the face. You gonna drop your head. I can look you in the face and tell you hell no. I ain't gonna drop, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And from there to the get crunk shit, I'm just like, okay. If bro just playing like he my partner, but you really don't want these folks to see me. You know what I'm saying? You really don't want these folks to know who I am. Or you were trying to keep me here from TVT, you know what I'm saying? I didn't understand it. You know what I'm saying? It just get to the part to where I'm just like, damn, like I'm gonna always be part of the entourage with Buddy, even though creatively I'm in the forefront. You know what I'm saying? I'm the brains of it in the forefront, but when it come time to even do a video, you ain't gonna even let me get a cameo so these folks even know who I am. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm like maybe the first South Georgia artist to be on a nationwide project. Phil Mob is the first South Georgia artist to put out a whole project.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And then you gotta throw Bubba Sparks in there at the same time. Phil Mob and Bubba Sparks, like one of the plots of their whole thing was playing on the country thing.
Right.
They used to have the pigs and be in the mud and rolling around in the mud and have the pigs in the club and all of that, which I think that Phil Mob and Bubba are some amazing artists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I knew, me personally, like, I ate pig. They was on my plate. You know what I'm saying? But I know, like, even where I was from, and I'm from a little small town, cause it's like, my town is the water whip capital. Like, you want to get your dope whipped up? Like, come grab one of y'all niggas right there. So it's like, we weren't on that country shit, and we were from a little bit of small town. Right. So I think that coming out in that time, it's like, they seen all of that. Maybe, and I'm playing devil's advocate, maybe they didn't want me to get caught up in that, because I felt like my image wasn't no country image anyway, you know. But maybe they wanted me to play like play a certain way or whatever. And when I didn't agree with that, I've been in the city longer than I was in the country. I came up here at 17, 18, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like I always had to represent where I'm from, because I felt like I had to inspire. I owed it to them kids from down there to inspire them. You know what I'm saying? In a way, too. And I felt like that was my blessing and my curse. I think, like Griffin is closer to Atlanta, so they'll even accept it a little bit better, even though they're going to still stereotype you to a certain extent.
You would think that. You would really think that. But I would go, man, where you from? I'm from Griffin. You know, just 30 minutes out. I mean, yeah, y'all nigga country. I'm like, what the hell?
I do have, now, because, and when I hear the whole story, it made me think of in the 60s, where you had the record labels, and they're basically controlled by the establishment. And they might find artists who were very, very talented, and they would give these artists songs to white singers. When I hear this story now, and this is just me playing devil's advocate, sometimes in hearing your story, I feel like this gentleman went and found a real talented guy from a small area. For the most part, disconnected him from his area, put him around all these people. But you got to think, if he done this to, let's just say T.I. T.I. got a story of people from his area who know his story.
Exactly.
Or if he done this to a Bone Crusher.
Yeah.
He got these lyrical giants cats, but you really were basically solo dolo on your talent.
You know, it's a learning experience, I think, more so than anything. But in this day and age, you don't have to do it like that. You know, with social media, with the internet, it done made the world smaller.
And I noticed the last thing I seen, because I'm looking at the time, that, and I'm glad you said this, like, you don't have a beef.
You build up a legacy, and when you're building it, everybody is all hands on deck. You know what I'm saying? They're team players, whatever you can do to. But then at the end of the legacy, they put one person's face on the legacy. So it's like, now he's kind of like the puppet master of the whole legacy when that really ain't the case. You know what I'm saying? Like bruh, just he's the figurehead that we put together. You know what I'm saying? He got this from me, this from that person, this from that person, that from that person. But he Voltroned it up and put it all together and his face on it. And it's like, it ain't no disrespect to him. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problem with Jon. And that's why I did that second post, just trying to clear it up. Just like, look, you know, I know the first one might have came, might rushed, or it blurred it out, but this is why I'm saying this. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is just make the legacy right. You know what I'm saying? Because my kids are gonna be part of this. Your kids gonna be part of this. So it's like, why have our kids looking at each other like, your dad a thief, your dad, my dad, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, we bigger than that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
All right, man. Again, I appreciate everybody for supporting the show, checking us out. Bro, you have definitely enlightened me and then enlightened the world, educated us. Man, anything you just want to say to the people in closing?
Man, first I want to say, man, thank y'all for having me here, man. Like I said, me and Homebwoi, we've been rocking for years and years, you know what I'm saying? And I just appreciate y'all having me here, man. And that's the only thing, bro. I just want to archive my story and tell my story. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no disrespect to nobody or no nothing. You know what I'm saying? My truth shouldn't be nobody else's lie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's all it is with me. But you know, y'all get at me. You know, I still do shows. So if somebody want to get at me on some shows, you know, you can hit me on bohagonbiz@gmail.com. And, you know, my social media, @TheRealBohagon on IG. And, you know, I'm just still pushing, bro. I ain't stopped. I got the flatbed out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Got the flatbeds on the road. And we still getting money. We still living a good life. I still live my same life.
All right. Well, everybody follow us at The Big Homie Show. Make sure that you all subscribe to us on Big Homie Show on YouTube as well as SoundCloud. And also comment, man. Leave us some comments. Let us know, you know, if you like what we're saying, if you like what we're doing, if you don't like what we're doing, how can we improve the show? So just let us know. And we will appreciate that. And for everybody that carries the show, we definitely appreciate y'all for carrying us on y'all's platforms as well.